What is the most profitable farming project in Zimbabwe, especially if you live in the diaspora? This is what we're going to be looking at in this very video. One thing that I want you to check, if you haven't done so, please just double check if you're subscribed to this channel. If you haven't done so, please go ahead and smash that subscribe button so that you never miss any of these awesome videos. Hello and welcome. My name is Kuda. Over a period of months, I went on a journey to work on different projects, and I knocked on a lot of doors, a lot of offices, asking for questions, asking for prices, asking for professional advice, and anything in between. And I've kind of gathered a whole lot of information in terms of what to do and the best path to take. So if you live in the diaspora and you're thinking of, okay, I want to start a project in Zimbabwe, and what is the best profitable farming projects that I can possibly do? So what I want you to understand is that I've gone around Zimbabwe, in the urban areas, in the rural homes, in the industrial places, and anything in between. A lot of people, what they are doing is that they are converting or working towards the rural place to work on projects. So these are different projects that they are working on, and I've seen a lot of projects that are going around. So you may engage in a discussion with someone who says, I'm doing XYZ project in Zimbabwe, it's giving me this much profit and things like that. So to start off with, if you go online right now, if you check what is the most profitable farming project in Zimbabwe, it's tobacco. Okay, but we're not going to look about, we're not going to look at tobacco right now. We're going to look at some of the projects that are being done, and you may have interest in doing them. So when I've actually gone around, there is people that are doing rabbits. Okay, there are projects that are going of people that are only specifically looking at rabbits, and they are keeping them and selling them into the market. Another profitable niche that I've seen people doing is fish farming. They dig some, it's like a small dam I should say, and then they put tent and a net, and they feed, and then they supply to the market. Another project that I've seen a lot of people do is greenhouse farming. So greenhouse farming allows you to harvest throughout the year, and it's one of the projects that I've seen when I've done the mathematics to see if it's profitable. I've realized that it's profitable. And then chickens as well, they are a profitable niche. A lot of people, they consume chicken in Zimbabwe, and it's one of the projects that you can start working on. And there's also goat farming. It's one of the projects that you can actually work on, keeping goats and selling them to the market. And cash crops like cabbages, peanut butter, green pepper, tomatoes, anything that is called cash crops can actually give you a very good income. There's also what is known as cattle fattening. Cattle fattening is the idea of buying cattle and then you put them on a feeding program. Once you put them on a feeding program, then you sell them to the market. These are some of the examples that I've just given you, but I could have gone on and on and on and on, but let me end there. And the reason why I've just ended there is to just make you understand that all these examples that I've given and anything that you can actually think of, it's very profitable if you are doing it from Zimbabwe. However, I want you to help you understand some of the important information that I really want to get you to understand when you're actually working on this project. So when you're looking into the market, when you're looking who you are going to be selling your products to, it could be rabbits, it could be goats, it could be cash crops, you need to think of two things. This is actually an observation that I've actually found, and these two things are, number one, you need to think of the community, selling to the community, like the people around that community. Probably you go to the nearest growth point, and you go to the nearest town center, and then you start selling or to the people, your neighbors within the community. Number two, you need to think of a one buyer model. When I'm talking about a one buyer model, I'm talking about you negotiating with a supermarket to say, come and buy from our little farm. Okay, I'm talking about someone who just is doing this project on a little farm, on a rural home. Come and buy from us. It could be a supermarket that you negotiate with, or anything in between. So what I want you to understand is that there are those two, the community and then the corporate world. I'll say the corporate world. I'm talking about the one buyer who just comes and buys everything. So as you are working on your project, you need to make sure that you meet those minimum criteria for those two entities. Okay, let me explain. A very good example that I can give you is on chickens. It's an observation that I've actually gotten. So if you want to start a project to keep chickens like broilers, okay, if you build a chicken house that is less than 5,000, that can accommodate less than 5,000 beds, you are going to get a hard time to get into contract farming. Let me explain what contract farming is. Now in Zimbabwe, there are companies that do buy chickens at a wholesale price, and when they are coming to buy from you, they say, okay, if you want us to get into a contract farming, you only have to keep 5,000 beds and above. So what they do is they supply you with the day-old chicks. When they supply you with day-old chicks, they supply you with the feed, and then they also supply you with the chemicals, the medicine, or whatever that you call them. They supply you that, and then once the chickens are ready, they then come and buy from you. But however, they say that you can only do that when you have built a chicken house that can accommodate 5,000 beds. If you do anything less than 5,000, it simply means that you're going to be only selling to the community. So let me explain. In a case whereby you have the capacity, the financial capacity to buy 5,000 chicks and then feed the chickens and have them grow, you can choose either to sell to your contract company, or you can choose to work with the community. You have a choice on that one. So now let us talk of fish farming. When you're looking at fish farming, you need to also put that into consideration, that when you're doing the project for fish farming, are you doing the project for fish farming to sell to the community? What is the minimum benchmark that you may need also to sell to a bigger company? What is the minimum kgs that they require you to produce so that they can actually buy from you in bulk? So you need to consider that when you're deciding which one is the best and most profitable farming project in Zimbabwe. And I can tell you that all these farming projects that I've mentioned and more, they are all profitable. They are all profitable. If you want to do tomatoes, think of how you can do tomatoes. What is the minimum number that is supermarket would want to buy from you over and over again, so that you avoid the stress of dealing with the community if you don't want to sell to the community. That's an experience that I actually had as I was doing one of the projects. I had to learn that way, that when you're working on this, work on a minimum benchmark that allows you to decide to supply to a supermarket or any corporate company, or that allows you to sell to any community members. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and I kindly ask you to watch one of my other videos as well that talks about some of the business models that you can do if you live in the diaspora, if you want to work on the projects in Zimbabwe. So in this video I talk about, I'm going to add a link in the description. In this video I talk about some of the business avenues that I've seen as I was actually going around. I was like, okay, there's a business model. Okay, there's a business model. There's a need there that needs to be filled, and you're going to learn exactly what you can do in terms of starting a business, and you're not limited again to just farming projects alone. With that said, thank you so much for watching. Again, please subscribe to this channel and give this video a like, and just leave a comment with your views. And remember, my target is not a big farmer, it's just someone who lives in the diaspora and they want to just do something small at a rural community and probably grow it. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.